Yo, 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 my Star Citizens and Noob Gamers. Welcome back to another episode of Star Citizen with me, Menix. And in today's episode, I'm going to be checking out small ship versus big ship in hauling. And what I mean by that is I'm going to take a small ship, which something like the Nomad, and I'll explain that in a minute why, against something like a Caterpillar. And we're going to be doing hauling. In the small ship, we're going to be doing hauling contracts, and in the big ship, we're going to be doing free trading, and just gauge what's the best for the both, and see which one we like the most, and which you guys would like the most. Now, for me, hauling contracts are perfectly suited for the smaller ships or the medium ships, because if you stick to the junior jobs, you can get around 50k for those jobs, and only take around up to 10 boxes at a time. And so something like the Nomad will be perfect for that. Whereas you will never be able to earn big money in free trading in a small ship. So I think I used to say when I was doing trading that the smaller ships was just useless. They was dead because you couldn't do proper contracts. You couldn't do proper trading with them because the commodities just wasn't there for it. Whereas with the cargo contracts, now smaller ships can come back into this, and you can have a smaller ship and earn some really, really good money. Now, free trading wise, like I said, smaller ships are not that good, so you're going to need something like a Caterpillar or a C2 for free trading to get some really good money, or even the Hull C. But I think those are a little bit overkill for those junior contracts where you're only taking 10 boxes, and getting in and out of the atmosphere is just, a lot quicker in the smaller ship. So when you're doing the cargo contracts and you're going from place to place, I think it's a lot quicker doing that in the smaller ships than it will be in the big ships. So let's get into this one, guys. So what I've done is I've gone and I've rented a Nomad. I didn't have a Nomad. Now the reason I've chosen the Nomad is because it's sort of almost in a starter pack. I think you can buy in a starter pack, and for you to get one, you can rent it over at the cargo centres of the space stations for around 30,000. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pull up a list in a minute of where you can rent them, but I'm going to show you here. So you come up to the space stations, to the cargo centre, and over here at the rentals in the cargo centre, you'll be able to find the ships and the Nomad there for 30,000 for one day. And the Nomad holds about 24. Now, normal starter ships will hold around 8 SCU, so they may be suited for some of the junior jobs, but not all. So that's why I'm going to rent a Nomad. You'll pay off the Nomad within one contract, so that's why I'm doing that, because it's quite cheap to get. So you could probably do one job in a small starter ship. You may have to go down twice to finish it, but once you get that 50k, you'll be able to then pick up something like a Nomad. Right, so I've rented the Nomad. Let me bring up the page for where I rented it. So here we're over at UEX Corp. Here, I'll put a link in the description. And we go over to vehicles and in here, and then you've got here to rent. So you click the rent, and this will show you where you can rent all ships and buy all ships and stuff. So in here we'll put in the Nomad, and this will tell you all the places where you can rent it and how long for. When it was last updated. So 2 days ago, the Nomad at Virginia Point, at Stanton Gateway, at Port Tressler, Terra Gateway, the Spaceport in Orison, Pyro Gateway, Seraphine, Magnus Gateway, Everest Harbour, and Area 18. So that's the places you can rent a Nomad. So guys, let's get into this. So I'm going to head down and grab my Nomad now, and then I'm going to pick up some contracts. I'm looking at 3 contracts, and I'm trying to sort of keep them so they're in the same area. So I'm not doing 3 different trips. I'm just going to take 3 contracts to one place, hopefully around 20 boxes. This ship can hold 24, so hopefully around that sort of number, and then I can then go and deliver them. I'm expecting to do 2 loads of this as well. So let's have a look through the jobs here. Okay, so I've got these 3 jobs coming up here, and they're going to Fernway. So from Everest Harbour where I am all the way to Fernway, and there's 3 of them lined up at 50k each, or just over 50k, 50,250. So from that we should get 150,750 credits altogether. So if we can do this twice in an hour, we should be looking at around 301,000-ish. So about 300,000 we're looking at for this in an hour if we can do these 3 jobs. But the time-consuming part is going to be loading these boxes manually. What I want to do with the Caterpillar when we do that version is I want that one to be auto-loading. I don't want to be loading it myself. So let's get this contracts picked up. Throw them in the back of this truck here, a little truck, little pickup truck. So there they go, 3 jobs all going to the same place, and it's going to amount to, I think, 20 or 19 boxes. I think it was a 7, a 7 and a 6, so yeah, 20 boxes. 7, 7 and a 6, yeah. 20 boxes to do. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull these and start loading them, and then I'm just going to jump the video. And what I will do is I will jump the video to flip between this run and the run of me doing the Caterpillar. So let's begin to load these boxes, and then I'll push this forward in a second. One of 20. 1 of 20. Okay, so let's push this forward and jump onto picking up the cargo, or talking about the cargo we're going to be picking up. Okay guys, so I've picked up my Caterpillar. I have purchased this in the PTU. Luckily a PTU came out to test with the 0.2 patch, so I'm going to give that a try. But this also allows me to buy the Caterpillar at 12.4 million or something like that, and allow me to have then 2 million spare, or 2.6 million spare for buying cargo. So I was able to do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick up some Zapane at her L4 and take that to crew L1. And we're going to do auto loading on this, so no having to load it ourselves. Okay, for us to be able to do auto loading, we need to put the ship away first. Let's do that.
To the ASOC vehicle. Your vehicle has been moved to our storage facility. Please visit us again.
Cool. And what we're going to need to do is head upstairs to the admin office and go and buy some Zapane. Let's do this. Right, so there's a paint, and there's 1,000 max inventory here, with 1,200 here to buy. There is some other things we can look at. You could look at acetine from Arkel 3, going to Magnus Gateway, and you could look at construction materials from Mick L4 to her L1. You're probably going to get around the same profit. So let's select our ship. Now, if our ship doesn't select like this, you may have to pick not the space station itself, but pick either your name. So my name here means I've got body armor on. So you might have to pick either if the ship doesn't do it, you might have to pick, if you see your name, pick your name, or the other one that's your name, or even the wording, select location, and just go through them all. Obviously you can't pick this one, but if the ship you want isn't selecting it, then try other ships and your name and the wording, select location, because that sometimes works. If you don't have any armor on, you won't see your name here, you'll just see the ship name and select location, and select location sometimes does it as well. So my picking the name allows me to get that. You can see here that I can get this now. So 576. Now how do we find out what cargo we need? We can't just get loads of different of this stuff, so you don't want to end up buying too much. So the way I do it is I tend not to go for 24s and 32s because some places don't take them, so I generally go for 16s. And so to be safe, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go for 16s. I might even just go for 8s to be sure, because I'm not unloading this, so it doesn't matter to me. And then I'll just do max 8s. But if you want to go for 24s, what you could do is you start off from the top and you go max, you buy that, and then if it doesn't show up here, what you have to do then is come back off here onto your name again, and that will refresh it. And just make sure that you do have it saying that there's some in the demand here when you do it. And so you would then go to the 16 next and do the same, and then the 8 next. But I'm just going to make sure I'm going to go for 8 just to be sure. And that's going to cost me 886 for that. 886.7 for that one. And it's going to give me 54 units. And it's going to take 9 minutes for that. So with the auto load, it's going to cost us 10,040. Okay. So total, it's going to cost us 897,100, as you see here. So we'll confirm that, accept that. And like I said, if it doesn't show here, it would allow me then to get another chunk of this. Now we don't want that, so what you need to do is you got to go to back to your selecting your ship here, so that it shows there's a pane here, and then you see now it won't allow me to buy them units. So I can then go to the 4s and see how many I can buy of that. So we're going to buy 4 lots of 4, and that's going to cost us 33,390 with a loading time of 2 minutes added on. 2 minutes 20 added on to that. And as you see there, it's still not showing, so we have to then reselect that. And then we'll go down to the next one, which will be 2s, and we'll get 56 of those. And that's going to cost us 233,100, and another 4 minutes added on. And then we refresh again, and we go down to the last one, which will be 1s, singles, and we're going to get 16 of those, and that's going to cost us 33,470, and add another 2 minutes 32 on. And we'll confirm that. Boom. And then we refresh, and that should be us full. So what we'll do now is we're going to check out much the time. I think the time is consecutive, so I think it all adds on. I don't think it would just take the longest time. It did do when they first brought this out, but I think they've changed it now so that it adds it on. So it would be 9 minutes plus 2 minutes plus 4 minutes plus 2 minutes. So we're probably looking at about 15, 20 minutes, 15, 17, 18 minutes or something. So let's go down and check this out. And then we'll also work out what we spent on that as well. So we've got 16 minutes left, so it was about 18 minutes. So let's work out what the cost of that is. So, total, that cost us 1,197,060 credits. So, let's see what we make from it in profit. Now, I'm not too sure if the box changes would reduce the time. So, say if I did get 24s, I'm not too sure whether that would have changed the amount of boxes. So something to try out, but sorry, not the amount of boxes. Of course, it's going to change the amount of boxes. Whether it would change the amount of time because it's less boxes, I'm not too sure. Something to try out. Maybe you guys can tell me in the comments if you know of a change, less boxes, less time, even though it's the same amount of SCU. Okay, guys, so that. We have picked up the cargo for the Caterpillar, and we've now got the cargo for our first load for the Nomad. So let's go and take this down to the planet and go and throw it into the freight elevator and get the first contract done. And this should give us about 150 grand. I absolutely love this ship. It's just something about this ship. It was one of the first ships I got. The very first ship I got was an Aurora, and then I think I upgraded to this one, and I really, really did fall in love with this ship. I've since upgraded to other ships, but there we are. So it's a light, nippy ship, quick to get the boxes in and out off the back of it, and so really, really good for these small rookie contracts that we're picking up. Now, we could take a bigger ship out. I said earlier on about the bigger ships being used for these contracts, but we could pick up the bigger payloads of around 100, but that will give us boxes of around size 8. So we're still going to be moving around 10 to 20 boxes just on one job. The rookie jobs are really good because they're only around 4 or 5 boxes. This one you saw 7, 7 and 6. So sort of in them numbers. So we can get a few of these into the back of one of the small vehicles like this one, or if you look at the Hull A. And so we can chain a couple of jobs, and that way then we can make, so like we are doing here, 150 grand. Now if we was to pick up the bigger boxes, then that would be we'd need the bigger ship, and we might not be able to get chain a few jobs, and we're only going to get around 30 grand more for the bigger jobs at this moment in time when we're playing this patch. So here we are coming into the place, Fernway I think it was called, and we're going to go and just drop these off. This is the time consuming part, is doing this part, the loading and unloading, whereas with the Caterpillar it will just all be automatically done, and then we just got to wait that time around. Now what we could do is, while we're waiting the time of the Caterpillar, we could be doing one of these jobs in that time. So say if it takes 15 minutes on the Caterpillar or 20 minutes on the Caterpillar to load up, we could then pick out one of these small ships and pick up one of these jobs and earn an extra 50k just loading one of these in, because these jobs generally take around 20 to 30 minutes, so we could earn another 100 grand in the full time of doing the Caterpillar load from the loading and unloading. So someone's left an Atlas here. I'm going to pick this up and just play around with this a little bit. Now, when you pick off your ship like this, it won't come above your head. It acts like a normal tractor beam. For it to act as a tractor beam where you get the hologram bit, you have to drop it off your ship on the floor, and then from the floor you can get that then, or from the freight elevator is another way of doing that as well. But when you're doing it from the ship, this is the way it does it, just like a normal tractor beam. It's a little quicker than doing it by hand. It seems to push it quicker over than the smaller ones. As you see there now, that's the way where it does it normally, where you just drop it on the floor like that. The only issue we have with that is it bashes things around and you can end up losing boxes. Okay, so final box, let's get this one done. So we're heading up to our half-an-hour mark here now on the first contract being done, or the Nomad side of things. And yeah, let's just drop this in, make sure these contracts are done. 20 boxes, all complete, cool. 150 grand in the bag. Nice. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick up probably the same 3 contracts again. They should now show up again, and I'll be able to pick them 3 up again. So we'll just have to go to Everest Harbour, pick them up again, and then drop them off again. So here we are, picking up the contracts. I've just picked up the last one, and again it's all the same 3 contracts I just picked up. So we're going to be going over to Everest Harbour, pick these up, put these 20 boxes up again, and then back over to Fernsway. Now this can be boring doing this, just doing the same job over and over, but this is the nature of it. So let's head up to the space station, grab this cargo, and go from there.
Engine systems enabled. Launch shields.
I do like this ship, it's such a nice ship. Okay, so I wonder how we're doing with the Caterpillar. Let's go and check in on that.
Landing.
Okay guys, so that's loaded. Ship loaded, took 20 minutes. It was a bit of a wait hanging around. We could have in that time maybe done a cargo contract, but we are loaded now. So let's get in the ship and let's head over to Crew L1. Okay guys, so here we are over at Crew L1. So let's get this put away. Remember, we have to put the ship away as well. Okay, so let's put the ship away.
ASOC vehicle retrieval system. Your vehicle has been moved to our storage facility. Please visit us again.
Okay, so while we are heading upstairs here, I'm going to flip back over to the Nomad, and let's begin with the second of the contracts and start loading this one in. So we're about half an hour in on both tasks now. We have made our first delivery with the Nomad, or the first 3 contracts done, and picked up the next set of contracts, and we've now got to load this, and we are now just hitting the place to sell with the caterpillar. So half an hour for both, and you can see where we are. Pick up these contracts. And start loading these on. And then we'll jump on forward to getting this loaded. There we are, finally done. And then what we'll do is we'll push forward again to where we are just unloading this. You've seen me do this one, so you pretty much know what's going on with it now. It's a weird way I've done the video, but it's something I wanted to try out, like just go flicking between the 2 parts that I was doing. You may like it, you may not. Let me know in the comments, guys. I just thought, rather than me just showing you me delivering one set and then me picking up a cargo in a cart and then delivering that, I thought I'd flip between the 2. Okay, so let's jump to the distribution center. Let's bring our landing gear down and our boxes down. And again, we're just going to unload these. I'll jump it forward again. You've seen me do it once.
Engine systems disabled.
There we are. Let's get these unloaded. I prefer the bigger tractor beam than the smaller one, but it costs 19 grand for the bigger one. So let's go through some of the pros and cons while I'm doing this. So the pros and cons of the cargo hauling is we are not putting anything up front. We can use smaller ships to earn decent amounts of money. The cons of it is this, having to unload it yourself, the time consuming part of that. Another pro is you're not putting anything up front, you are safe with what you've done. You're not losing any money, it's only time you're losing and rep. And so the pros and cons of the free trading is, the pros, obviously you can do auto load places like I've done, and you don't have to then manually load, you can just do that yourself, let it do it itself. And the cons obviously are you're putting money up front, as well as the worry of losing that, and you need a big ship to make any decent profit. It's from around 250 upwards to make any decent profit. If I've done the run in the Caterpillar, what I've done in if I'd have done the run that I'm doing in the Caterpillar, if I'd done that in a Star Lancer, I could have made half of the money. So you're going to need a decent ship. Whereas if I'd have done it in something like the Nomad, I would have only made what, 1/5 of the money or something like that. Not a lot. And yeah, so we would have, say we earned whatever we earn, 1/5 of that is what you would earn in a Nomad. So having a smaller ship for the contracts is better, and having a big ship for doing cargo running or free trading is going to be better that way. So let's jump to that, shall we? Selling the actual Caterpillar cargo. Here we are over at the admin office. So we spent 1,197,000, and we are going to sell all of this for $1,641,000. So 1,641,000. So let's sell that. So we're going to sell it for, after the cost of 14 grand, we're going to sell it for 1,627,000, and it's going to take 12 minutes. So let's confirm that. Let's plug those numbers in. Set that. Right. So. $1,627,000 minus what we paid, which was $1,197,060 equals 429,940. 429,940. So we made more with it, but we had the risk of putting the money up front. We needed the bigger ship. We needed 1.1 million to get the cargo, and then we had to hope that we didn't get any errors or anything happen where we lost that cargo, and we made just short of $500,000. So they both have their merits, obviously. With the big cargo, you can just get it all, and like I did, and have it auto load, places where you can put your ship away, and that's good for the bigger ships. Obviously, if that had been a C2 or a Hull C, then we could have took the whole amount of cargo, 1,000 and odd. It would have cost us a lot more. It would have cost us double, so we would have had to pay 2 million up front, but we would have made just short of $1 million in profit. So the bigger ship in them instances is much better, whereas the smaller ship doing the cargo runs is quick at getting in and out, and we could do 2 runs of 3 sets. So there was three boxes to 3 jobs to unload. I think it worked out at something like short of 24. Just short of 24. It was around 20 boxes that we had to unload, and we spent the time obviously unloading them onto the smaller ship. Now, when I say a bigger ship is useless with doing the cargo contracts, that depends on if you're doing the higher rank contracts where you're getting over 100 on your cargo. Now, yeah, it does sound a lot over 100 on your cargo SCU, but the boxes are at the size 8s, and so if you've got over 100, you're looking at probably 12. 13, maybe up to 15 boxes, so around the same as what you're getting on the rookie ranks, around the same amount of boxes, but you're getting paid slightly more, like around 80,000 per job, but then you're using the big ship. So in that instance, the big ship is obviously better doing the auto load cargo and selling it with the risk of you putting the money up front. Now, if you're doing space station to space station, that's not so bad because you can put the ship away, and it's not too bad of a journey, and you can put the ship away and do auto loading and unloading. And so we did the auto unloading and loading and made 429,000 without having to load that. So it all depends for you guys. Do you like the unloading and loading of the smaller ships? I would say 20 odd boxes is okay. Or would you prefer the unloading and loading auto of the bigger ship, where you have to wait around for 15-20 minutes doing something else? Now, what we could have done is we could have picked up a contract and done one of the cargo contracts on a smaller ship while that was loading. So that's an option there, and you could have made another 50,000. And the same again while we're unloading, going to take 10 minutes to unload. So we could have done the same, picked up another cargo contract and done that, and then we could loop that again. And in that space, we would make over $500,000. So for me, it depends on what gameplay you want. I actually enjoyed doing that Caterpillar run then. I've not done a cargo run like that in a while. I've been mainly focusing on the cargo contracts and putting them out. So for me, doing the cargo run there was really, really good. I enjoyed it. And so I think I'll probably swap between the two me over time. And like I said, if that had been a C2 or a hull C, we could have made double the profit on the hull C, because we could have took all the cargo, and we could have took, you know, we could have probably made 750,000 if we'd done it in the C2, because you can get 700-ish cargo. So yeah, so that's going to be this one, guys. Small ship versus big ship. And yeah, let us know your thoughts on what do you prefer. Also, like I said to you in the video earlier on, I do get a lot of comments from people saying that the auto loading doesn't work, but try that method what I showed earlier on. For some reason, I've never had an issue with it doing that, and so I'm not too sure what's going on with that. And so yeah, so we hope you like this video, guys. If you did, don't forget to take that pointer, click on the like button, hit the bell and subscribe notification, and we shall see you guys out in the verse.